Still have one out.
Okay. I can give up mine.
We'll call the meeting to order. It is the mission of Montague Area Public Schools to educate and inspire all students to become motivated, articulate, productive, and successful citizens for today, tomorrow, and forever. Please rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 3 is roll call.
Mrs. Bauer?
Here. Mr. Johnson?
Here.
Mr. Rapp?
Here.
Ms. Dahl? Here.
Okay. Item 4 is approval of the agenda. Moved by Tom. Support by Amanda. Discussion. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 5 is the consent agenda. Moved by Tom.
Support.
Support by Karen. Discussion. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6 is the public comment portion of the meeting. Public comments will be accepted at this time. Each statement shall be limited to 5 minutes in duration. Participants shall direct all comments to the board and not to staff or other participants. The board welcomes public comment but does not respond to citizens' concerns at its meetings. At the citizens' request and the board's direction, the superintendent or designee will respond in a timely manner. This meeting is a meeting of the Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. We do have one person on the list. Mrs. Metcalf.
Hi, good morning or afternoon. I just wanted to come and address some comments that I heard in the July meeting about AP classes and just add a little bit of clarification with that. It seemed like there was some confusion, and I just wanted to share my experience as an educator and as a mom of kids who have taken those classes. So, number one, the first time I taught an AP class was in 1998. Long before any of these children were around. So I do want to say that I don't feel like AP classes are a trend or anything new. They've been around for over 50 years. I didn't grow up in this state, but there were AP classes offered at my high school, and there was a discussion between the teachers at that time on whether we should offer it as AP or could you get college credit for the class in another way. Moving forward to this area, certainly AP classes have been around here for a long time, and I think with the changes in education, specifically the fact that for a while in the 90s we were really pushing, let's get everyone college ready. Let's make sure every kid has taken enough classes so they can go to college. Well, we realized, of course, not every kid should be going to college, but we bumped up a lot of the requirements, and there are classes that every kid has to take in order to graduate. So what we ended up with were some of these classes, and I'm going to say from the math department, Algebra 2 is required for everyone. I've never agreed with that. It doesn't really matter what my opinion is, but it's hard to get every kid through Algebra 2. Okay, so you end up watering down that curriculum a little bit to get everyone through it. So what do we do then for the kids that are going to go on and apply for a higher level college? Well, we still offer different electives and so on, but we have plenty of options for students. I think the biggest idea is that education is supposed to be differentiated. As a teacher, I'm supposed to teach the kids who struggle in my math class, and I'm supposed to teach the kids and maybe push a little bit the kids that it's very easy for. And that's the same idea with offering AP classes. We offer classes for special education students, as we should. We have a teacher on staff whose sole job is to help students who English is their second language at the high school, right? So the same idea is with AP classes. There are some kids who are going to go to a four-year college or maybe start at a community college but transfer to a higher college. And one of the big concerns that we had when we first started teaching AP calculus here at Montague was that there were kids who were going to U of M and saying, well, I mean, I did well, I knew what I was doing, but everyone else there had already taken calculus and I hadn't. And so that was something that we worked towards at this school. I think, so the main idea is differentiating instruction, reaching all the different levels of students that you have. Okay, the second thing that I would like to address is how it has helped my children. There are a lot of different options. Career Tech, I think, is a great option for many students. We offer the college program where you can dual enroll. You can take college credits at the same time as you're here. You have to drive to Muskegon all winter long in order to do that. Not as easy as when I dual enrolled. I only had a 10-minute drive to a state university from where I was at in high school. It's different. And we also have, early college program where kids can take high school classes and college classes at the same time. They don't get their diploma officially until 5 years from high school, but they get that high school diploma and their associate's degree at the same time. Great option as long as you're able to drive down there for those classes. I think the idea with AP classes is not everyone is able to drive all the way down to Muskegon for classes. So this is a way that we can offer college level classes that push kids to take something that is more difficult than what everyone else has to have to pass. I have one kid who graduated in 3 years from Grand Valley. Why? Because she had taken AP classes and started a semester ahead. She still worked hard, but she got through in 3 years. I have another girl who got an associate's in a year and a half. She drug it out to a year and a half so she could play 2 years of volleyball. But still, she could have done the same thing in 1 year as the college program that we have. I think they're beneficial because they save them money. 3 years of college versus 4 years of college. I'm in full support of AP classes, and that's why I wanted to stop by here tonight. Thank you for your time.
All right. Item 7. Any other public comment at this time? All right. Item 7 on the agenda is reports. A is principal meaningful minutes. Go ahead,
All right. Christy, Thelma High School principal, did have some shoulder surgery, so she will not be in attendance today, so well wishes to her. And next, Sandy?
Wow. Well, it's great to be back for the 24-25 school year. It's great to see all of you folks here. We kicked off the school year this year with an open house, and we did things a little differently. We held it outside. Fortunately, the weather held out for us. It was a beautiful night. We made a few mistakes. We figured out what we need to do better for next year, and we'll make those adjustments. But the bottom line is we had a huge attendance, and our PTO was there. Their presence was really appreciated, and it was just really great to see all of the kids back. We started the year out strong with 437 students in grades 1 through 5. And we also changed up our arrival and dismissal plan. My guess is you've probably heard about that. But just to set the record straight, the rationale behind that was to ensure student safety and to keep their well-being in mind. We noticed as students were coming into the building and leaving the building last year, there was a lot of chaos, there was a lot of pushing and shoving, and students were kind of coming in unhappy and leaving unhappy, and we wanted to curtail that. So we now have students coming in at different entrances and going out at those exits, and it seems to me that it's much calmer in the morning, and kids are coming in with just a better attitude overall. And we're able to accommodate through that through both our walkers, our drop-off students, as well as our busers. So we spent the second day of school reviewing our hero expectations, our wildcat expectations, and that's where we do our rotation and we go to every place in the school and teach the expected behavior for that content. So whether it's the gym or the playground or restrooms or hallway or wherever, we're just reviewing and teaching those expectations. In the curriculum area, I'm happy to report, due to our 35J grant from the state of Michigan, we're piloting 2 ELA curriculums this year. One is happening right now. It's called EL, It's called EL curriculum. And we have at least one teacher from every grade level that's piloting. In some grade levels it's more. But we're really getting into it right now. And it's a lot of material, a lot of new learning on behalf of teachers, which we really appreciate. And then second semester, we're going to pilot a program called Bookworms. And then in May, our group will come back together, same group that met this summer and made some decisions. And then we'll make a decision about what to implement for next year. With that 35J, we also have a literacy coach on board this year. So she's been in the building 2 to 3, sometimes 4 days a week, meeting with teachers consistently, helping them navigate through the new pilot. And last but not least, I'm happy to report, our PTO had their first meeting, started out strong. I made 20 copies of the agenda because I was so excited thinking there was going to be a lot there, and there were several there. There were, I think, 15 or 16 people showed up, which is a really good turnout for us, and they have a lot of great things planned for this year that we're looking forward to, and one is even pickles and popcorn, not just popcorn, but pickles and popcorn. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. Jen?
It looks like just writing back there. Good, I'm not taking space right now.
There you go.
Okay, so we are just practicing learning school right now. So we have a lot of little people that have come into the building, and it will be their first all day of school. It'll be the first time they ever picked up a lunch and walked it into the lunchroom and sat down. So most of the math right now is based on expectations and what do we do, how do we open our lockers, how do we put things in. So we're just really just learning school. And there's no tired like kindergarten tired. I mean, they are like exhausted, we are exhausted, everyone's exhausted. So in our building, we too have a teacher piloting the new curriculum for the EL. That was Sandra. She's going to do that for us. We also have a couple of staff going to TCI training, which is de-escalating behaviors. And so that will be excellent training for them. We also are working right now on benchmark assessments. So if you hear about DIBELS or the math benchmark assessment, that's going on right now in both buildings. And then last but not least, we started a new little specials program in the MAC. It's called Foundations. And we have, instead of having specials teachers come in, all the different people every day, we have one teacher that does all the specials. So we have, and it's Tom Engelsman, and he does all the specials every day, even with our ECSE kids. So it's really pretty cool. And he went to Reese Puffer, and they had that type of program. So he went and observed, and he brought back a lot of really great ideas that are really developmentally appropriate for our little people. And there's nothing like seeing Tom Engelsman with a light up tambourine as you're walking in the hall. So it's a lot of fun. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Jen. Jim, NBC.
All right, so our school year got off to a very smooth start. We started the year with a fun assembly, spent a lot of time in that first week going over expectations and building a strong sense of community in the building. And those two items will be a focus throughout our entire school year. I'm happy to report that every sixth grader can get into their locker now. That was a very big worry at the beginning of the year, and they're all doing just fine. To start the year, our building is really refocusing on our tiered systems for both academics and behavior. That's a big focus this year. So we'll have monthly committee meetings that teachers will be a part of, really focused on both of those two areas. And the more we can be proactive about putting programs in place or catching kids before they get too far behind, the less problems we have in the future. So that's a part of a larger district focus for the year, and our building is about right in, and we're starting all of those this month. Our middle school robotics team has its first practice tonight, so they will be working very hard towards a competition in late November. We have lots of sports in action right now at NBC. Our cross-country, volleyball, and football teams are up and running, as well as club sports that include soccer and sideline cheer. So we have 5 sports up and running, and we have lots of students involved in all of those extracurriculars. The 6th grade band got their instruments last week. That's always a very noisy section of the school when they get those instruments. Lots of squawks and squeaks coming from down there, but I'm always amazed by the work that Emma Greenwood and Scott and Lander do with them, and within a few weeks, these notes and songs, and by the end of the year, they sound totally different, and they're well on their way to becoming musicians. So I do want to just throw out one other thing from the summer. At the end of last school year, I threw out an opportunity for teachers to come together and do a book club around professional reading. And I had 15 teachers out of our 20 volunteer every Tuesday morning to meet for 2 hours and do professional reading and talk about ways that we can improve our instruction at NBC. And so I want to commend all of those 15 for doing that. And we're seeing a lot of positive things already starting the year with teachers thinking about new ways to approach grading and building stronger community within our school, which we're really seeing in our seminar time. They've got some really great ideas about making team names and doing some fun games with each other, and really having this strong sense of belonging for every kid in our school. So not only, especially for those kids that don't have robotics or a team or whatever they're a part of, how do you feel really tied into the Montague community? And so that's part of what our goal is here at NBC this year. So overall, you've got a lot going on at NBC, and we are excited for the school year to be underway. Christy sent me some things from MHS. She said she apologized for not being here. She's recovering from her surgery on Thursday, and she'll be back in the building by Wednesday. They have an exciting start to the school year, and things have been running very smoothly. The first week we kicked off with 2 assemblies on the first day, and then had a fun rock, paper, scissors activity to end the week where they could win beads for rock, paper, scissors, and they ended up with a champion. I think is our champion here. Mark was our rock, paper, scissors champion at the high school. So congratulations to Mark. It's a fun day. And then they also had an assembly where they get time to practice the school song, and then we'll continue to use that for school spirit and competition throughout the year. The first 2 weeks have gone smoothly, and walking down the hall during class, there's a variety of ways that students are being engaged by their teachers, and it truly reflects the abilities and talents of our teaching staff. Our teachers are on board and excited to be a part of the new committees being formed as part of our school improvement plan. Our leadership team has put a lot of work into the strategic plan, and it's exciting to see the plans playing out successfully. Overall, MHS has 21 new students, 11 drops, and 6 exchange students for an overall positive gain. Our exchange students are from a variety of places, and we look forward to introducing them to the student body, staff, and all of you through videos in the next few weeks. Special thanks to Mrs. Wood for putting on the Wildcat Salute on Friday. Be sure to check out the soccer game Wednesday for a special 9/11 tribute and fundraiser to benefit our Hope Squad. The annual Montague Whitehall Pink Out football game is happening on the 20th as well. And on the 24th, before the varsity volleyball game, there'll be a safety presentation occurring in cooperation with the City of Montague and our school-based clinicians. There'll be a variety of presentations available for parents regarding different types of student safety. Both from NHS.
Right. Thank you. Thank you to all our principals. As you heard, many great things in the start of our school year. Next, we'll move on to superintendent comments. Please note all our new hires. I'll list them off. This is our many new support staff that will be joining us this year. Some are new, some are familiar faces, but as new hires in different roles. So Luke Kramer, bus driver. Jessica Dibble is a custodian. Sue Dyer is a cook aide in the MAC. Lori Whitwam is a cook at NBC. Amy Roberts is our ECSE aide at the MAC. Melissa Erickson is a lunch recess aide at RRO. Rebecca Johnson is a lunch recess aide at RRO. Daniel Rademacher is secretary at RRO. Abby Short is an Ellery aide at RRO. Courtney Moe is an Ellery aide at RRO. And Elizabeth Van Zanten is a cafeteria, climate, and school culture coach for us in the district. Yes.
What does that entail?
So that is the climate, you're talking the cafeteria climate culture. So it is creating a good environment and atmosphere within our lunch rooms and to assist with having a positive atmosphere or an environment where people feel comfortable to eat and make it positive. Helps in the positive behavior systems that are taking place, making sure that kids don't, in that unstructured time, kids don't need to make poor choices.
That's it. John's taking time, can't do
Moving on to other superintendent comments. As you heard from our building principals, we are off to a great start this year. We'll see our student count totals as we get near to closer to count day. We are going to be down some students just from our graduating senior class and our incoming kindergarten class. We anticipated a shortage of students in that area, but it looks to be that there will be even less kindergartners than we anticipated. So that will be a reduction for us in that. Another talking point, historically the district has had to borrow money each year, each fall, to meet cash flow needs for September and October due to receiving no state aid in September. Each year, Mrs. Brown analyzes our anticipated weekly expenditures and revenues and works with our attorney to secure funds to make up for any cash flow deficits, and then we borrow off of that. This year, we do not need to borrow money as the district has enough funds available to meet our cash flow obligations. If unexpected situations take place that require the need of borrowing later in the year, we can work with our attorney to start the process at that time. So kudos to Stacy Brown and our finance department to continue to try to find ways to make us more efficient in that process. So
When we do borrow money, what is the interest rate? Is that variable based on whatever?
Last year it was over 5%. Just a few years ago it was less than 1%.
Okay.
So I think we're still in that environment where it'd be over 5% if we borrow this year.
Lower than the normal or regular borrowing, but yeah, makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, get my readers here. So the upcoming, this starting next Saturday, we will be installing the football scoreboard. We will be working to tear down the old scoreboard in a quick turnaround to get it ready for the JV football game against Whitehall that Thursday. It should all go according to plan. We do have a backup plan. If not, it's still utilizing the old scoreboard, but it'll be just suspended in a different way. Legislatively, there hasn't been much action going on in Lansing, so unfortunately there's been some time off, or as they're campaigning around the state for the upcoming election. There will be a Senate Bill 911 that will be heading to both the House and the Senate. The Senate should be meeting next week around that Senate bill, and the House on September 25th, and it's around the Retirement Act and looking at some fiscal changes around the 3% that is for employee contribution. Special thanks to Mrs. Jackie Wood for her Wildcat Salute and all the work that she did for that event. Obviously, with the windy weather, some of the events did not take place, like the dropping, the parachuting the ball in that process, or the flyby of some jets in that process. But as a whole, there was a great turnout. There was a number of different first responders, law enforcement, and military members that were in attendance, and she did a wonderful job of that. So thank you to her for that. Gym is progressing slowly and surely. I should say slowly, progressing quite well, I guess, actually. And we're still planning on that spring 2025 date. You should be seeing some flooring start to take place within the gymnasium here towards the end of the month. There will be a 9/11 ceremony. I know you heard that from Jim on Christie's. The memorial ceremony celebration at the Montague Whitehall soccer game, where Montague and Whitehall Hope squads will be doing a ceremony prior to the varsity game on that as well. And my last one here, please let me know any specific data that you'd like to see. I know we talked about sharing some data at our quarters within the school year. At this point, I'll probably share some of the attendance data, academic as far as benchmark data, and then some possible behavior data at certain points as well. So if there's certain things that you'd like to see, let's have a conversation around that, so please send that to me. And that is it for superintendent comments.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Item 8 is new business. Item 8A is a consideration of approving voting delegate and alternate for MASB's delegate assembly. The suggested motion is to designate whoever we choose as the voting delegate, and as whoever we choose as an alternate to represent the district at the MASB delegate assembly. I think last year it was myself and Cindy, I think. I'm willing to do that again if you guys want. Cindy's not here, so she gets automatic. I don't know.
October 24th at 7 p.m. That'll be at the Lansing Center in downtown Lansing. Just as a remembering of what this is, the delegate assembly is made up of at least one voting delegate from each school district in the state. The delegate assembly provides direction to associations, its officers and committees through the adoption of resolutions. We will at the next meeting of October, we'll look at what the voting items are, and we'll have a good idea of some conversations. Whoever that is, Brent was correct that he was the delegate last year, so he was the alternate in that role.
I mean, I'll happily allow you guys. Tom, I think if you're going off the board,
How much
it's
time
great opportunity for you.
does this take? I mean, obviously it's a couple hour drive there.
Yeah, it's the meeting. I mean, you'll be back about 10, 11 o'clock at night. So it's
Okay,
yeah.
I would say it's probably an hour and a half to 2 hour.
Hour and a half, 2 hour meeting. One of the good things I think you get from it is there are a lot of delegates, other school board members from our area that go, you can talk to people. One of the big things for them, I think, is making sure people get there so that they have enough to vote. But I mean, I will do it again unless somebody else wants to volunteer. I don't remember. They gotta have them all person though.
I don't know what the number is. There's 536 districts, I believe. So there's got to be a certain percentage of the thing. I don't know.
Does the delegate and the alternate both go?
No,
Or
just one.
She's just in case
One or
she
the
can't.
other,
Okay. So we should feel bad if you see
Yeah.
her do it again.
I say that both could go. There's no like,
You would vote no.
no, but just one.
You could all go.
Yeah, everybody.
Well, that's kind of, yeah.
Let's not do that.
Yeah.
Well, I would make a motion then to designate Brent as the voting delegate and Cindy as the alternate representative to the district, the MASB delegate assembly.
Support. So a motion by Amanda, support by Tom. Any additional discussion? I guess I'm going to Lansing.
Or not, you never know.
That's true. Get sick.
It's 2 months away.
2 months away. It's not on my anniversary this year, so that's good. Any additional discussion? All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item B, consideration of approval of replacement of air conditioning systems with funds from the sinking fund. The suggested motion is to approve the replacement of air conditioning systems in the amount of X from say that again? It's been updated. Well, it's been updated? All right. So to approve the replacement of air conditioning system in the amount of $102,600 from Boardwell Mechanical with funds from the sinking fund. So moved by Tom.
Support.
Support by Karen. Discussion.
So there were 4 bids that came in the bid process for mechanical, RMS, A&D mechanical contractors, pressure and pipes. RMS was close within that process as well due to 2 voluntary alternates, which is engineered in that process from Boardwell Mechanical. They were the low bid at $102,600. We feel comfortable with them as a company as they do a lot of work within the district.
Which 2 are they replacing? This one and that one? Central office and this one?
So it's It's that area.
Okay.
Yes. Set the band choir room and towards the teacher lounge, towards this way is that process. And then the FFA science wing area, Baylor's room.
Are these additions or are they replacements?
Replacements.
Okay.
So I see that Boardwell wasn't initially the lowest, and I'm not saying the lowest to go, it's just the way to go. So
Because they felt that within the process and looking at the air conditioning, the pipes that were coming into the units itself could be cleaned and you would not need to replace that pipe within that process.
and nobody else.
Put in a voluntary alternate to do so. So in the process, on the actual bid itself, on the bid forms, they allow you to put in voluntary alternates, anything that you'd like to try to do differently in that to show. That was one of the processes that took place. His alternate actually is to omit the refrigeration line set installation replacement from the new condenser to the VAP coil. And this is where I get a little bit lost in this process of what that really means, but the condenser to the new VAP coil. On the AHU3F and the AHU4E, all adaptations and modifications require the conversion from the existing line set to the 410A equipment included in that process. So within that process, makes total sense is to do that in a process, and it should be a perk to the air conditioning services at all.
And if it's starting the project, we find that, say, those can't be cleaned and have to be replaced, this cost will go up. Back to their original bid.
I would say that they would be able to commit the project that they had stated, and we could go back to our bids or.
I'm saying after the job already started, if they make that determination. The other bids were still getting that work.
Correct.
They eliminated-
It could, and I guess it could. They have stated that it doesn't do that at this point in time. They've already checked that. So, but yeah, I guess that is true. It could, they could come forward, which I guess at that point I would say that we probably want, I guess it depends on how far in the process they are. If they're saying, no, we need to replace them after they said that they didn't need to.
Or if they get it in a year, replaced in a year, then
No, that is not my understanding of the process.
Is Boardwell the only local out of this group?
yeah, RMS was Greenville, I think.
Yeah.
RMS is Greenville. I think Pressure and
Pressure and Quick Fitters has a local guy that's there.
Yeah.
I think there might be Muskegon, I'm not sure.
yeah, that's Muskegon. Airline Road in Muskegon.
Yeah, that's quite right. I know Boardwell does a lot of good work for this one. All right, any additional discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item C is consideration of approving Jordan Young as a new special education teacher. The suggested motion to approve new hire of Jordan Young as a new special education teacher. Moved by Tom, support by Amanda. Discussion.
So we welcome Jordan Young as a new special education teacher at split between RO and NBC. He comes from Chippewa Hills and a CMU grad. He is new to the profession in a roundabout way, starting with his time in law enforcement.
Any additional discussion or questions? All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item D is consideration of approving Ashley Fagan as the new special education teacher. The suggested motion to approve new hire of Ashley Fagan as a new special education teacher. Moved by Tom. Support by Amanda. Discussion.
So Ashley Fagan will be taking on a special education classroom at RRO. She is a Western Michigan University graduate, along with a master's degree from Oakland University. She does have a year of teaching experience within the area. We're excited for her to be with us as well.
All right. Question on this, Jeff. Could we put like all hires into one line item in the agenda and pass a motion for all of them? Or do we need to do separate items?
I will look into that answer and
These hires bulk because
I think it's
teachers.
per our policy, we have, it's the approval of the teaching and professional staff has to be approved through the board, and the support staff does not. So I just inform in that point in time. I will look into.
I mean, it does make it
it's-
considerably faster,
Right.
but just to have one
Yep.
motion to say,
One
hey, all
motion
these
to-
people, and then, yeah. Okay. Any additional discussion? All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item E, consideration of approving overnight athletic trips. Suggested motion to approve overnight trips for the girls varsity golf team from 10-1 to 10-2, 2024 in Traverse City, and 10-4 to 10-5, 2024 in Big Rapids, and 10-17 to 10-19, 2024 at MSU if they qualify for state.
Support.
Moved by Tom, support by Karen. Discussion.
So girls golf, as they're moving along in their season, a couple events that they have attended previously as well, but the Traverse City Central Invitational, along with Kaki, I believe is how you pronounce it, golf course in Big Rapids, which is a course that is usually within the postseason tournament, and then obviously the high school finals as well. Hopefully, as we're very optimistic, the girls are having a good season as well. So they've done a nice job of the program. This would be out of activity accounts that they have, and like I mentioned, for the postseason play. Chaperones, Phil Kirk, coach, and Maddie Kaminsky, also both teachers, coaches in that process as well. Yep.
But I have another silly question. Is it policy that the board has to approve overnight trips?
Yes, overnight, not a stay.
Overnight, not state. Is there, what would be the specific reason?
I think one would think of extra expenditures
Okay,
or safety.
so it's in dollars and cents.
And safety just
Okay.
at a time that it's more than your day-to-day operations.
Okay. Any additional discussion? All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item F is consideration of approval of all of out-of-state trip for Dan Gorman to attend the Healthy Meals Summit in Las Vegas from October 21st to October 23rd, 2024. Suggested motion to approve the out-of-state trip for Dan Gorman from October 21st to 23rd, 2024. Moved by Tom. Support by Amanda. Discussion.
So, as we know, Dan Gorman has worked his way into many different conferences with some of the presenting and the things that he does at a national level. The Healthy Meals Summit, he will be presenting there. This is at no cost to the district. All travel, all stay, and components are free within this, free to the district, I guess I should say, in that process. So there is no cost to this, but he is working, and I do have some additional information on this. The USD Healthy Meals Summit is an integral part of the nationwide Healthy Meals Incentive Initiative. This event focuses on bringing together small and rural school districts from across the country that have been awarded the Healthy Meals Incentive Award, WTF. He's been invited along with our Plants Grant partners to participate in a panel discussion at the summit. The Chef Ann Foundation is the grant manager of the Plants Grant and has recognized our team's effort and believes we are ideal candidates to showcase how we're transforming food systems through cooperation and collaborative partnerships. Our presentation will focus on the importance of building relationships and working together to create lasting changes in school nutrition programs.
All right. Any additional discussion or questions? All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item G, Neola policy, second reading and adoption of policies in Neola's Volume 31, Number 1, February 2024 and June 2024 special update. The suggested motion is to approve the second reading and adoption of Neola policy numbers 1240, 2410, 3320, 6320, 6321, 6325, 6350, 6520, 8390, 8800 as presented. Motion by Tom.
Support.
Support by Amanda. Discussion.
All right, so these were a first reading at our last board meeting. I'll just quickly run through, just as by name and name only within these, but 1240 evaluation of superintendent, 2410 prohibition of referral and assistance, and that is being rescinded as not being one. 3220 professional staff evaluation, and a lot of these, as you can see, were all the technical corrections, just showing work within the business as far as commas or punctuation. Purchasing, technical correction, new school construction renovation, 6321, 6325, procurement of federal grants and funds, 6350, prevailing wage, 6520, payroll deductions, 8390, animals and district property, and 8800, religious, patriotic ceremonies and observances. Joel and the committee, or Joel, I guess, within the process as we went through some of these policies and looked for different components. Like I mentioned last board meeting, the 2264 and 2014, which we'll see here in a second, is had some tweaks and changes that I'll talk about for our first reading.
Okay. Any additional discussion or comments? All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item H, Neola policies, first reading of policies 2264 and 2414.
So 2414, there was a change. We decided to leave the language from the policy rather than taking it out. And basically, it's where additionally any school staff member, board, or employee of the board who is not a parent or legal guardian of the student involved and prohibited from referring a student for abortion or assisting a student in taking abortion. So we felt that was important to keep currently within the policy. And then on 2264, first reading, this is on the non-discrimination component, on the new Title IX components, and within that, based upon harassment on page 5, it would be including the parentheses as you see, and it's very similar to what we did within the handbook for the approval of the handbook as well. In parentheses, it would say, as defined in relevant and applicable statutes and regulations, so it changes which occur, would always say that versus listing things out.
Okay. We don't need a motion on this one.
You do not, so that's the first reading. Please make sure that you take a look at that to go into the next board meeting as well.
Item 9 is adjournment. So moved by Tom. Support by Karen. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? We will adjourn the meeting.